Welcome to Third Eye Champagne. I am Kirsten, Langston, author and intuitive. You're looking at Vlog Nation, which is a vlog that I do sporadically on Patreon, but I'm releasing it to everybody, all the public, everybody. And here's the reason why. I thought you might want to witness my nervous breakdown in public, on camera. I mean, isn't that what YouTube's for? So here's the deal. Let me set this up for you guys. I have a little story to tell. I started doing these things called deep dives, and to best kind of describe what they are, it's sort of like channeling. I don't like to call it channeling, but I think that's maybe what I'm doing is people's most common definition of channeling in a way. I don't believe that I think I'm gathering information. I think it's a really in-depth reading, and it requires me to go really super in depth. So it's not me doing cards, and it's not me getting psychic information as though it were a reading. It's more of a, let me sit here, let me get into a trance state and just have, you know, information come through and things come through. So the first time I did it on Trump, and it started out where when I was reading on Trump, he would sort of like, almost like he would come through like a dead person in a way. Like it was very much like I felt like he was actually like in my ear, like, hey, I gotta tell you something, da, 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 da. So I thought, this is weird. So I said one day, I mean, this was so spontaneous. I was like, what? Like, maybe I should like channel the guy. So I set this camera up. I got all, you know, tranced out. I prepared for this like big time. So it's not just like a regular reading. And I don't know, I think I did 2 hours where I was just kind of in this guy's brain and personality. And it's bizarre, but I still think it was an incredible piece of work. I think it was really entertaining. So we started kind of doing these things called deep dives. And the next thing I did the Salem witches. And then I did Jesus. That was interesting. But all this really weird, like, information comes through, different information comes through when I do this kind of stuff. So this time the patrons have requested, okay, please do a deep dive on aliens. So the deep dives, they're live. They're at the $5 tier and above on Patreon, and then the $2 tier gets it in playback, and the public typically doesn't get to see them. They're really, I don't know, they're really personal, and I, you know, I kind of am of the mind, like, if I'm going to put myself out there that much, you can pay for it. That's the God's honest truth. Because they're hard on me, they're not easy, they take a lot out of me, they're difficult, and they're real weird. I mean, they're just weird. They're just not your typical reading. So I feel like kind of put it behind a paywall, because I don't know if I'm ready for the general public to just see it. This kind of stuff. It weirds me out. I'm gonna be honest with you, it weirds me out. So if you don't know me, you're first, you know, you don't mean that well, you haven't been with me a while, this is your first experience with Miss Kirsten Langston. I'm kind of a skeptical psychic. I believe stuff when I've experienced it enough. So not just a one-time deal, but many, many times over. And even then, I have questions, I have thoughts, I have theories. I believe, obviously, as a psychic, that psychic stuff is real, and getting psychic information is real, and readings are real. Not with every person that claims that they're good at it, but a lot of people are good at it. Of course, Linda Grindle is one. Of course, Elisa Einhorn is the other one at Moon Pluto Astrology. Those two, I will say, hands down, flat out, have read for me for years and have both been on the money pretty much every single time. And that's not easy to do. So, you know, I've experienced this as a client, and I've experienced it as a reader. So I'm like, yeah, the psychic stuff, okay, that's great, it's real. But venturing beyond that, I have questions. And I'm not saying it's not real, and I'm not saying it's fake, you know, any of this kind of stuff, you know, aliens and channelings and mediums and ghosts, and I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying as a person, as an individual, I have questions, I have thoughts. I'm not ready to believe every single thing. So I'm setting this up this way because I just did this deep dive on aliens. I don't necessarily believe in aliens. I don't not believe in aliens. I think common sense dictates there's got to be something going on out there besides us, right? This one knocked me on my ass. It knocked me on my ass. If you haven't seen it, go ahead, come on to Patreon. $2 will get you the reading. And you get to watch that entire live stream in playback. You get to watch me question my sanity over and over and over again. And I'm not questioning it now. And it just did not fit my expectations of how the reading was going to go. So I have a list. The patrons pretty much helped me make up this list. So I was going to read on the types of aliens, are there alien hybrids, aliens throughout history, government cover-ups with aliens, crop circles, Roswell, alien abductions, Rendlesham Forest, and Area 51. Okay, so this was like, I had a thought in my head of how this was going to go. I thought, you know, the typical kinds of aliens. I mean, I'm not an alien person. I don't really have a horse race in the alien thing. I don't. I kind of don't care if they're real, and I don't care if they're not real. I don't have a belief there. You know, I mean, again, like I said, for me, common sense dictates there's got to be something else out there, but that's as far as I go. So, but I was kind of expecting to read on this stuff and be like, oh yeah, it's real, oh, the Greys, yeah, that's a thing, okay, and you know, the reptilians, probably a thing. Like, I was fully expecting it to be legit just because it's so pervasive, I guess. The Roswell thing, I was expecting to be legit, like alien stuff. Abductions, I was for sure that was real, and now everything I know is just upside down right now. And I've said repeatedly during that live stream, it could have been a bad day for me. Like, I could have just been not doing good readings today. None of this stuff is verifiable. I mean, even with, you know, the Salem witch thing, it wasn't really historical facts. It was more feelings and personalities that were coming through. Not my personalities, but the personalities of the people that were involved in that. You know, energies that were coming through, but it wasn't, you know, facts. There's nothing verifiable here. And the thing that I really like about psychic readings is you make a prediction and then you wait to see if it comes true. And I love that. That to me is like, it's solid ground to stand on. With these deep dives, I am not on solid ground, which already makes me uncomfortable, but now we're into alien stuff, which makes me very uncomfortable. So, I didn't see this going the way that it went. I ended up describing a race of alien beings that I've never heard of. None of the stuff that was coming through was making sense to me. It was I mean, honestly, I'm going, did I not get enough sleep last night? Am I cracking up on camera? Like, are people witnessing me losing my shit right live, you know, like completely live? Like, what is going on here? Because it was so distressing to me to get this kind of information. And, you know, I mean, if you're like an alien person, come swing by, watch the video, let me know what you think. Some of the stuff that was coming through, I think, would piss off a lot of alien believers and whatnot, because I was getting information that goes against what most people believe about aliens, types of aliens, aliens throughout history, government cover-ups, crop circles, Roswell, all of it. I was getting completely contradictory information that was as to what goes against conventional thought. Which, again, I wasn't expecting. And it really knocked me on my ass. It really, really did. I'm having a problem here. I ended up describing a race of aliens and their actions, which is something I've never heard of. Maybe it's out there. I didn't really study much. You know, I got the basic lingo down. You know, I went on YouTube and I said, all right, YouTube, what do we know about aliens? Well, you've got your basics. You know, I came across the 3 Nordic reptilian Greys, and I was like, okay, I know about that. All right, that's something I should know about, you know, but I didn't really go into depth. So I describe a race of aliens, and I describe what they're doing and what they're doing here, and it just blew me away. As I'm saying this, as I'm doing the deep dive, as the information is coming to me, I'm going, this can't be real, this can't be right. I know, most psychics are like, they stand by their shit. They're like, no, this is what's happening, it's real, this is the information that came through, and I stand by it, and but. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know how I feel about this one, and I don't know if I had a bad day, if I had an off day, it wasn't a good deep dive, or if it was, and I just have a mental block against the information that I got. Because it's honestly, as I'm doing it, I'm like, God, this sounds like bullshit. And I will say, like, a lot of you that were watching the live stream, and I'm sure some of you that will be watching it in playback on Patreon have been like, no, this is resonating. You don't sound crazy. I fully feel like I sounded crazy. But a lot of people are like, no, this is making sense to us. But I would love your opinion on the information that we received through that, because it just wasn't at all what I was expecting. It sounds crazy to me. I'll be real with you. It just sounds ridiculous to me, the stuff that was coming through. And yet, I mean, what if I didn't have a bad day? What if it's legitimate information? I don't know. I'm not going to be that person that's like, I'm just not. I own my shit. You know, if I do a bad reading, I do a bad reading, and it happens. You know, if I'm having a bad day and I'm not feeling on point, I will let you know. If I make a prediction and I say, you know, I'm not feeling too good about this one, or I feel like things could change, I will let you know. If I make a prediction and I feel like it's 100% legit, I will let you know. And with this, they're not predictions. You know what I mean? I didn't make a prediction. I didn't sit there and say, oh yeah, aliens are going to contact us in 2023. In fact, the information that came through about alien contact was like, what? So I'm opening it up. Obviously, I'm expressing, you know, if you're not going to watch the video, you don't want to go to Patreon, again, $2, we'll get you the video. But if you're not going to do that, then, you know, let me know in the comments just your thoughts on aliens. That's what I want to know. I want to know information that you know, if, you know, you've studied this, what's common, what's not common, facts, quote unquote facts, right? But you know what I mean? I want to know stuff. I want to know information. So even if you're not going to go watch the video and let me know what you think over there, let me know here. What is your information? Like, what do you know about stuff like this? Because I don't know hardly anything. And I went into this with a barely any knowledge. What I'm going to do is let this sit, because it may very well be just erroneous information, some of it anyway. I'm going to come back and actually read cards on it, revisit it in a little while, and maybe just look at it and say, oh yeah, no girl, you were having a bad day. Or maybe I'm going to look at it and say, well, I finally was able to wrap my head around this, and it's legitimate information. But it was such a mind blower for me. It just rocked my foundations, like my reality. I was like, no, this can't be right. Like, I'm doing it wrong. So any information you guys have, any alien theories, thoughts, what have you, let me know in the comments. If you dip on over to Patreon and watch the alien deep dive, then let me know your thoughts on the information. It's just the information that came through was like nothing I've ever heard. Not that I might just be missing it, you know, because I didn't really I only did scratch the surface of this, but it was too out there for me. I like my psychic information to be concrete and fucking normal. I like to be able to say, this bill will pass, this bill will not pass, this person will do this, these people will break up. You know, I like that. This shit, this weirdo alien shit information about different types of aliens and how they travel and what they think about humans, and I don't believe it. That's the problem. I give out all this information and I personally don't believe it. Some of it I do. I will say the stuff about Roswell, the stuff about Rendlesham Forest, way more concrete stuff to read on, right? That to me, I'm like, yes, legit, I feel this. The crop circles, the stuff I was saying about crop circles, I'm like, yes, I stand behind that. I 1000% stand behind that. Also, interestingly enough, I went to read on Area 51 and I was told big fat letters like, no, do not read on this, do not read on this, do not read on this. So I don't know what that was about, but I left it alone. FYI, government. FYI, Men in Black. I went to read on it and I felt like it was like a fully benign reading, like, oh yeah, whatever, we'll just see what's going on. And it was like, do not do this. Do not do it, Kirsten. Absolutely not. Big red stop sign. So I didn't read on it. But the other stuff, not so much. It's just too out there for me. I can't stand behind it. It sounds ridiculous. It just did too much for me. It's just too out there. I'm not into it. It made me uncomfortable. Other people were very into it. And they were like, it's not too out there, auntie, we love it. And I'm like, okay, but yeah. Yeah. Weird though, right? All right, darlings. Okay, so the first thing, okay, so disclaimer on this, the first thing I'm getting is this, it's a little bit fuzzy to read on because, this is weird, but this is kind of what I'm being shown here. I'm not being shown this by aliens, by the way. I will let you know if I feel like I'm talking to a fucking alien, which if I am, somebody call my husband because I might need to get a psychiatric check. But I'm very skeptical, as you know. But I am getting that there are so many, like, it's like these theories, these really big theories, these really big ideas, it like obscures what the truth is. So I have to be careful not to get stuck in these theories because it's like the theories have an energy of their own, a mind of their own, and it sort of can present itself as truth. So I'm being told that, again, inner wisdom, outer wisdom, make your choice. I'm being told that there's that kind of an issue. So it's kind of like with the Jesus imposter thing, and it was like, hey, you know, they got some people floating around that ain't Jesus, so have fun with that. It's the same kind of a deal where there are almost like, the way I see it, it's almost like these mass hallucinations in a way, but it's like perceived reality is so strong and so massive that I'm being told, like, make sure you're not reading on that because it's not the truth. So it's these larger ideas, conspiracies, what have you, that people really have set in stone, that it's like they're saying, like, you got to make sure you're not reading on that. You got to make sure you're over here and reading on the real deal. So that's number one. Number two. Wow, okay. So, I don't think the governments are covering up as much as we think they are, or that people think they are. I get the sense, and I'm going to start... Well, it's funny because I get US, I get UK, I get somewhere in South America, somewhere, and I'm not sure what country it is, but somebody in South America knows stuff. But the cover-ups aren't as big as we think. They're not like, it's not a big conspiracy to hide shit. It's not. They're hiding shit for sure. As a whole, so governments, basically, and I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of the US, yes, Canada, yes, UK. I get UK and US the most. There's somewhere in South America, and I don't know what it is, but it's on the like the coast, so it's not somewhere in, it's somewhere out, and I think it's on the west coast of South America. Some government down there knows a lot of shit. I get Germany to an extent, but I'm kind of wondering if this is like related to Nazi stuff back in the day, because you know there are all those rumors, but that's me thinking, not me being psychic. Germany to an extent. There are other areas, there are like other nations that, like, yeah, we know stuff, but nobody gives a shit. I mean, it's weird because I would say that I get the sense that a lot of these, even the countries that like know stuff, they kind of don't, they're not focused on it. It's not like it's a big, like it's more big for people that are into aliens and into conspiracies and into alien stuff. Like it's more big for those people than it is for the governments. The governments are like, yeah, it's a thing. Like we don't know, it's kind of like this we don't know till we know thing, but they're not covering that much up. They're really not. So what I'm seeing is this. Yes, the government has, like most governments, I would say, most governments that are like in the loop, they have knowledge, yeah, there's something going on out there, that they're not like, let's go get them, let's go find them, let's do this, let's do that. They're just kind of like, when it happens, it happens. I get this super like blasé thing about it. It's kind of like it's a weird thing we don't have time for, in a way. Like when they show up, we'll deal with it, you know, and when they do show up, it is dealt with. But I don't mean like intergalactic secret wars. I just mean like, they're like, yeah, somebody saw something flying over the thing. Was it one of ours? Nope. Okay. Document it. You know? That kind of, like, that's it. Like, it's very bureaucratic. It's very red tape. There's no like, oh shit, aliens. Like, that's not here. For sure. Especially with the US, I don't get the sense at all. Although I think the US is more cloak and dagger with it than anybody else, because they're trying to develop and use technologies for their own advantages. I mean, other countries are, but US feels yucky to me on that front. But are they hiding bodies? No. Do they have absolute, undeniable, like, physical proof? No. Do they have technology? Yes. However, almost like altered reality. Like, you think you're seeing this, and you are seeing this, but you're really seeing that. That makes no sense. I know. like, it's like you are seeing an alien spaceship, but it's not what you think it is, but it is, but it isn't. Like, so I'm trying to puzzle this out. But it seems to me like, let's say you see the flying disc and you see the lights, right? And you're like, that's an alien spaceship. Great, you may be seeing an alien spaceship, but it doesn't actually look like a flying disc with a lot of lights. It actually looks like something else, and you are being shown that. That's fucking weird. So that's it. I mean, you're seeing an alien spaceship, yeah, sure, fine, but you're not. That's not what they really look like. So again, I get this, they're immaterial, which makes no sense to me, right? It makes no sense to me. So wherever they are, whatever they're doing, it's not, or it's material that we don't know about, or it's almost like it's different laws. It's like different laws of physics, or different laws of reality. And they're coming from one place where this is what they look like, but when they get close to here, it shifts. Did not see that one coming. So I'm going to get into the abductees because I had hits on that. I will tell you that, but this is too interesting. So anyway, the point is, as far as the what they're doing, how they're traveling, it feels to me like, number one, it's not like, oh, we traveled light years. It feels like boop, 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 boop. So to the best of my knowledge, this is like wormhole shit. So the movement, so even the movement of these things zipping around is perceived movement. No, but I will tell you this with Antarctica, there's something going on there, but it's not an alien thing. It could be ancient. What? Who the fuck is ringing my doorbell? Son of a bitch. Should I answer it? God, what if it's the Men in Black? Oh, they're knocking on the door. Sit tight. Y'all, if I don't come back, somebody call the police. That was my Jehovah's Witness. She's banging on the door like she was a fucking police. Scare the shit out of me. There's something there. This isn't, there's not nothing there. Also, I get the sense that the ancient civilizations, like really ancient, were way more fucking advanced than we give them credit for. Way more. Way more. It almost feels like there's a lost piece. Okay, this is way off subject, but it feels like there's a lost piece of history that, oh, wow. But I'm going back years, like thousands of years, like super fucking advanced, and we like lost it all. Could this be, maybe this is where the Atlantean thing comes from, I wonder. Do I think we're not ready to know of these aliens' existence? Well, it's weird. So with this whole thing, god damn it, I'm having such trouble with this. It feels to me like we know. Everybody fucking knows. Like, it's not like this is, you know, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, aliens don't exist, but, you know, they usually say most things don't exist, those kinds of people. As far as what we're dealing with here, the shit that I'm picking up, it feels like they don't care if we know or not. Fully, I fully don't get it. I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. I know that. I know. But that's just my MO, I guess. Let's go on to Rendlesham. Okay, so this one was legit, but something went wrong at that point, and it probably happens really infrequently. But whatever happened in Rendlesham, something went wrong. And they were like, shit, we gotta handle this. Like, get this thing back online, or whatever it is. Something went wrong. And they got stuck there for a minute, and then they left. But I feel this, like something went wrong. We were here for too long. And they had to like fix it. Biologically, I don't know if there is a spacecraft. A thought form that we perceive as a vehicle. Maybe, Judith. I mean, this is full theorizing at this point, but I'm making an assumption, and I realize this just now. My thinking mind is making an assumption that I'm dealing with vehicles, but I may not be. It's definitely a form of transportation. This Nordic stuff is legit. Damn it. It's legit, but I feel like they are not traveling here, okay? So they're not traveling here. I only get the one sense of the one travel people, and then I get the sense that these Nordic, quote-unquote, aliens live here. I hate this reading. I don't know if I believe this reading. Okay, so what'd you think? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you want to see the full deep dive, it's an hour and a half long, and it's all about aliens, types of aliens, what people know, what they don't know, governments, crop circles. I mean, it runs the gamut. So if you want to check that out, it's over on Patreon. $2 will get you that reading, and you just have to click the tag Deep Dives to find it. The link is in the box, and the link is at the end of this video. And don't forget, once you get there, you can go through all the archives on the $2 tier, or if you go higher on whatever tier you're on, you can get every video from the last 2 years that you've missed if you haven't been a patron. You can get all the deep dives. You can get the Trump deep dive, the Salem Witches deep dive, and if you stick around, in April we're going to be doing, or maybe it's the end of March. Anyway, very soon we're going to be doing a deep dive on the Virgin Mary, and after that, I think we're going to be doing Atlantis. At least that's what the patrons are leaning towards. So hopefully I will see you there. Again, the link is in the box, and the link is at the end of this video. And don't forget, while you're there, to cruise around, check out the archives, and there's a whole bunch of other readings you'll get for the whole rest of the month, including monthly forecasts and a Sunday brunch live stream. All right, my darlings, see you soon. And a great big thank you to Our Gems, our main sponsor for this program. Thank you, Our Gems!